if we think of the map as a blank canvas that we can put things on, we can add other kinds of things besides just the dots and the paths that we've added so far in our tutorial. We can also add images, and these images will lie on top of the map and move with it. And the images can have transparency so we can see through the map or not. So let's, the way we do this is we geo-rectify the map. It essentially takes just basically an image like a photograph and lays the photograph on top of the map by pinning the four corners down to the map in the georeferencing process. So we're going to add a map to Washington D.C. And we'll lay it in on the Capitol. So let's go in here and find where we want to put it. Probably around here, somewhere around here. And what you want to do is you want to highlight the map around, close to about the area that you want to lay on top of it. So I've got this map that I found online on the actual map. So I'm going to cut and paste the ID in here, go back to visualize. Now I've got the map close to where I want it. So we're going to go in there. In the settings menu, there's an option called, oddly enough, georeference. We click on that and it brings up a little box over here. And this box gives us a bunch of options to do it. For the most part, we're not going to have to mess with many of the options here. The only thing we're going to do is put in the image URL, paste that in, and then go to georeference. And what it does is it takes the image and puts it on top of the map. And then we can basically drag it around to fit. And there are 5 dots on there. There's the center dot, which allows you to move it, and the dots here that let you scale it one way or the other. And depending on which one you clicked on, it changes how you can scale it, about which dot is actually fixed. You can move the dot around, you can move the map, and see now it's kind of attached to the map. Now one of the things you'll want to do when you georeference will be probably to put the transparency down a little bit so you can see under the map while you're positioning it. So I'm going to go here and let's see, that actually looks pretty good. At least for ours, so you probably need to, and then you would change whatever you wanted in there. Now notice as I moved it, it's set the north, south, east, west. Of course I have rotation too, which I don't really care about rotating this map, but it actually is in the right area. But this is the number I'm going to use to, this is the georeferencing. So it's basically a combined north, south, east, west points. These 4 points on the map, coordinates, latitudes and longitudes. So I'm going to copy that, and let's go to our spreadsheet and go here, and we're going to have an overlay. Over. I'm not going to put any dates on it yet. And you don't actually have to have a thing, but I'm going to call this DC. And in the where thing, we paste our georeferencing. Now, the other thing we need to do is actually put the image file itself. So I'm going to go and capture this and go back to the, and that goes in the map marker. So we're basically putting a map marker on top of the map, georeferenced to here. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, now we're going to see what it looks like. So if we're pretty far out, so let's zoom in, and the DC map is indeed overlaid on top of it. Straightforward. Now we can control how much of it we want to see. So let's go back to the spreadsheet and say, I think we want the opacity to be, maybe 37%. Okay, the other thing too is right now this one is always on. So we could say we only want it to come from in 1750 to 1776 again. We want the map to show up. And so we say, give it some start and end dates, and then we say in the show we want to have it respect the start and end dates. So now we've got a map that we can have come on and off on demand. Our other alternative would be to give it a name, something like a DC map, and then we could show it using the show command, but I'll get into that a little later. Okay, we go back to our map, and at this point, we're not going to see it when we zoom in because we're at 1740, but as we get to 1750, we'll see it come on. There it is. When we get to 1776, it'll pop off. And of course, other things happen at the same time. We had our path happening. So you can have a lot of activity going on at the same time. And this becomes very powerful because you can turn on and off elements on the screen to highlight things that you want to highlight at any given time. So that's how you add layers on top of the map.